Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown, the regional finals for Europe, and it is hotting up. Now, we're waiting for the brackets to catch up a little bit, so, you know, me and Jason just said, you know what, let's just jump into whatever game is going. So we're going to find, it's Misfits versus Luminosity. I can get my words out. I'm a little shorter than you.
I'm trying to actually find the thing to go down, and it's just not here.
You just need to go down. We've gone through it.
Don't tell me to go down.
We've been in this studio. There we go. I'm going to have to go really high because you're just a Wookiee. You just sat up purposely. You just purposely sat up. Or is it your hair? It's the quiff.
This is how tall I am.
It's the quiff.
It's just literally how tall I am.
Just gel
like you said, Luminosity.
Let's talk about them.
Luminosity, not Seagull and Co. It's actually
which is too strong. Yeah, let's not confuse everyone because that happened overnight, basically.
Literally happened like an hour or two ago.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy, actually, to see them now picked up under the Luminosity banner. Nice to see them actually getting some recognition for some of these teams. But like you said, we're jumping into another game because we don't want to keep the break too long for you guys because of Creation, Drakeus having, you were telling me before, having some issues.
The plan was, it was perfect. We were like, excellent, we're going to get 5 games tonight. This is brilliant. It was going to be Creation versus SG1. We're going to drop down and do that because the SG1 We United game went 5 rounds back and forth.
Yeah, 5.
I even got the prep. I spoke to Slasher. They even played Hannah Moore in there, by the way. There was a back and forth action. So it was perfect. And then just as they were about to start, Creation lost Drakeus. His power went out, and he's, if you didn't know, Drakeus is the main support. So we're like, okay, maybe we can get a sub in there. No, that's not really fair because it's a power outage in Sweden, not Drakeus' fault. So now Drakeus is literally in a car driving to his friend's house. So that's going to be rough because I hope he's taking his peripherals. I hope he remembers to take his mouse and keyboard because that could be a big change. The chair's going to be different, the height's going to be different, everything's going to be different. It's going to feel wonky for him. Maybe he could end up with a gaming cafe. I don't know. You know, Sweden have these things. We don't get them in UK.
Well, as long as he ends up at someone's place playing for Creation.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
because they're one of the favorites in this.
Meanwhile, Numlock's like, hold on, guys, need to buy some more 4G data because obviously he's in literally the middle of Cornwall, which is, if you don't know, in UK. You got the UK, and then you got this bit of patch of land that just goes down here and down here, down here. He's like down there in the furthest reaches of Cornwall, where literally internet doesn't exist. So he's playing on 4G.
I wonder if Creation paid his bill.
It's incredible, yeah. And I guess he must be using pay-as-you-go or something because he's buying more data.
Something like that. But it brings us to our match right now.
It does. So it meant we've jumped up to the top bracket. This game started just as you were mid or just starting the third map, I think. Just as you were starting Ilios, they were like, they've only just started.
Yeah.
So we're jumping into this one. So Misfits, Luminosity, let's talk about that.
Well, I think first thing we should bring up is actually the score between the two, because it's not the first map we're jumping into.
Well, you can see it on the bottom of the screen down there.
Yeah, if I had glasses, I could see that.
Yeah.
It's 1-1, if you guys can't read that like I can, between the two teams. And the maps you were just telling me before, Hollywood was won by Misfits, and LG, Luminosity, and previously known as Too Strong, won King's Row.
Yeah.
I looked at this game.
Well, we just saw Melty getting a map of Reunited on King's Row as well. It is a map that teams, obviously, have probably played the most, I would say.
It's
probably the most played map, yeah. So it's certainly possible.
It's just, to me, it's crazy that today, all the matches that I had as like complete stomps have actually not been stomps at all. They've actually been relatively close. And you look at Misfits and you look at Too Strong or now Luminosity on paper, Misfits, probably the best team in Europe right now, 3-0. Quick games, over. No, 1-1. To me, that really surprises me and kind of shows the renewed fire within Too Strong. Being picked up by Luminosity, fighting for their chance to get through after they took up to the 3rd qualifier to actually get into the regional finals. You know, who knows? What if they actually pull this off?
Well, I mean, one can only hope. The new day in their organization, maybe they could pull off a surprise, because Misfits honestly would be touted as the #1 team at the moment.
Yep.
They were the first team to qualify for the Overwatch Open, just no problem there.
Literally first team.
Yeah, smashed everyone. They were the first team to qualify for this. So they literally have been decimating everyone. Yep. It's funny, I remember back in the Alienware thing that AlphaCast did. Yeah, the monthly melee. He told me then, he's like, keep your eye on these guys. They are really stepping it up, Misfits.
As Graviton Surge, they were previously known as. They were there, like Crew and Co. They were trying to figure things out, and Crew wanted to actually. So he left Melty because he wanted to play more of a DPS role, and he made this team, he made an all-French team known as Unknights, and that ended up splitting up because it just didn't really meld well together. They picked up all this new talent and become, like I said, the best team in Europe at the moment, and they've actually continued to get better and better week in and week out. It's insane, because we saw them back at the Take TV tournament at TakeOver, and they did okay. They did all right, but it wasn't necessarily the best showing in general for them, and they've I guess under the organization of Wins, who's their coach, or their manager coach, they've been able to excel.
Not the same Wins that's...
W-I-N-D.
Yeah, spelled differently to the guy that's
Kenny S.'s brother.
Yeah, Kenny S, yeah. That's probably the best way to put it. If anyone knows CSGO, you know Kenny S is probably one of the most named players there. It's his brother, so it's another shrub that's running the show. But let's talk about it, because we're getting into Ilios. Ilios is going to be the map. It's on your screens, or it will be any second now. As we get in there, let's see if anyone can manage to get a ball through the hoop. But yeah, Ilios, you guys just covered it, obviously, with the reunited Melty game. A straightforward 3-0 there. Are we expecting to see the same? I mean, ordinarily, if it had told me, hey, too strong, which was what Luminosity were known as, versus Misfits, I'd say, yeah, easy 3-0 for Misfits.
Yep. No, that's, yeah. I would 100% agree with you. Should have been 3-0 easy
That's
for
cheating,
Misfits.
man,
But Luminosity have started to shine, I say. And look at the lineup they have. Mineral is sitting on Ana, and Saini going to be on Genji. So this is going to be a really interesting comp to go up against, because they have triple support. And this, what's powerful about this comp is a Graviton Surge with an Antibiotic Grenade completely cancels out of Transcendence, basically. So Nevix is not going to be impactful when it comes to these big ultimates being used. And if Luminosity play this right, they can actually win a lot of these fights.
They changed it. Of course they did. Of course they would switch off. Why not? Icefelt, that's what I'm interested in. Icefelt was very good on Tracer last time we covered him on this sort of on the King of the Hill. Soon, though, of course, been fantastic. Here we go. Ruster going aggressive straight away, but it is Soon that's going to find himself the first kill. Icefelt getting picks off. Skipjack manages to find himself a straight-up Winston versus Winston kill there. And that looks like with 2 men down, they will be losing the point here. Soon going to get himself another. That's the Genji dropped.
Yeah, Saini does eventually fall from that one. A little bit of fortune for him, but Misfits are going to get the initial control of the point. That's the most important part. But looking at ultimates across, so besides ultimates really quickly, we do have Icefelt playing Tracer. So they have a Tracer-Genji combo up against a Reaper and a McCree combo. And McCree's decently good, really good against Tracer. If you can time your flashbang right, then the headshot. It comes down to, I think, a lot of outplaying in between the two teams and their DPS players, but so far Zapper's already being forced back. This is down to 90 HP. Even the Sound Barrier being forced out of here, and Luminosity are coming to this fight.
Oh, they tried to come over the top, and they all got caught in the Graviton Surge, and Icefelt manages to get the pulse bomb down, gets himself a triple, and that is good night. Misfits. Luminosity cap the point and starts ticking in their favor.
All right, so now Misfits, what are they going to have for the next attack? I mean, they used Transcendence, they used Sound Barrier in the last fight. Did not work out well enough for them. And that's just, I guess, the power of a pulse bomb. That's what we talked about with Mitch just before. That, yeah, your Transcendence is great. It gets steady damage, but burst damage, like a 400 damage grenade out of Tracer, not much you can do against that when it comes to killing people. And now Icefelt again coming towards the back. They're going to harass Saini, popping his Dragon Blade, looking for 1 kill or 2. Eventually able to pick down Crew, and he's looking for Zap as well. Or Zapri, sorry. And Zapri should ideally fall, but he's somehow been able to escape.
He should be able to climb himself back up there, but only so many times. So while this is all happening, Zapri and Nevix are picking up kill after kill. And just a simple primal raged monkey in the face of a Genji is enough to force Sini away. It just basically kept him out of the fight.
Yeah, he got knocked off at least once there. Was forced to climb back up again. The Dragon Blade wasn't necessarily too effective. Wasn't able to chain kill after kill after kill. But now Luminosity. They've got Zave with Transcendence up. Crew is going to have Graviton Surge for this fight, but so does Zapri and Suin. So this is actually a really heavy offensive favor for Misfits, and Luminosity have to be careful not to be caught out. Sound Barrier be used preemptively, just to prevent any big damage coming through. Ruster takes down Nevix, and Suin's going to be able to return over on a Mineral.
Back and forth the kills go, but it is going to be Zave. You can see picking up kill after kill there. That's going to be a clean wipe. There's just 1 man remaining here. It is Nevix, one of the highest ranked members of the European server, and they are cleared off. I think you said he was up to level 90 now, up to
91.
skill 91.
I played against him last night. It was not fun.
No.
It was frustrating. Anyways, I don't need to get too salty. They do have Transcendence, they have Graviton Surge, and they have Death Blossom yet again here. Luminosity trying to set up with a Graviton Surge themselves, but it's going to be hard to burst anyone down when Nevix has a Transcendence. But again, the post bomb comes through. Icefelt picks up a triple, and Saini, he's most likely going to save his Dragon Blade here.
This is working out well. It's actually ticking in favor of Luminosity still. You can see 70% and counting. Could they pick up the Ruins map of Ilios here? It may well happen, but They're coming up against the Graviton Surge and the Death Blossom coming out from Zapri and Crew. So expect that combo to be worked in their favor. As you say, Zave does have Transcendence available. Here he comes. Crew trying to get around the side there. Graviton Surge still not going to go down because they're having to fight on their own point at the moment. They can't even get close to it. There's the Graviton Surge, who's really early. Soon gets himself a triple, and that is going to be the point captured.
As Zave again has not used Transcendence. I mean, I don't think Transcendence would have even turned that fight. I don't think it would have been any different. But the fact that you kind of are seeing this big ultimate that can counter a lot of Misfits and their aggressiveness is really kind of hurting them. But you can see the percent, 70% up against 86, 96.
Yeah, they flipped it just before. So obviously Misfits trying to go aggressive, trying to keep them away from the point, try and flip it as quick as possible. But didn't work out. Manaton now has himself a Graviton Surge. So if they flip this point, Misfits, they've got to be careful. If they get wiped out here, they're going to lose the first round. Here you go. Graviton Surge goes down. Less than ideal. You can see a lot of shielding in there. Icefeld finally gets his Graviton Pulse Bomb available. Doesn't manage to catch anything with it. That was the big kill they were looking for. They managed to get one, though. Saini gets through there. Oh, no, that's a kill from Manaton. Self-destructing. Think he may have either fell off the map or nuked himself. But Zapre picks up a triple kill. They flipped it. They're going to keep it. Overtime running. And Misfits will take the first round. Everything was there for Luminosity. Everything was there, ready for them to win that round. But they didn't.
They should have actually won that.
Yeah.
They used the Graviton Surge a second too early, and Icefeld wasn't able to get his Pulse Bomb up in time. He was at like 92, 93% actually when they used the Graviton Surge, but he didn't get it up in time to combo it together to actually blow up the majority of the team, and that would have won them that first point. But now, down 1-0, tied 1-1 in the entire series, and we're seeing Mineral again sitting on Anna, try to get my hopes up, but probably will be actually switching over to someone else in a second.
Just like the Widowmaker in the previous round. Just trying to get your hopes up.
Just let
reunited Melty again.
Anna isn't actually that bad. She's not great, but she's not that bad.
Well, I would agree with that, but I'm talking a different Anna. But here we go. Manaton making his way through. Let's see what he can do. Pulse Graviton Surge didn't quite work out for him as best as he'd hoped there. And you see the raining bullets coming through. Didn't gain any charge from that one. He's going to finally get a shield up. There we go. 30 charge and counting. Pops it up. 81. There we go. Gets it working on the Ruster as he dived in. But Ruster gets picked off by Zapre. And that's not good. Losing a man this early generally means you're going to lose the point.
Oh, they still have Nevik still alive.
Oh, I felt what?
He's got the Orbit Discord. And
no!
Manaton gets booped into the well. So that's going to be a little bit of fortune for Luminosity to lose the first initial hold.
They didn't lose a single person there, Misfits. Not a single person, so their ulti charge is going to be great.
Well, you can see Zebasai actually with already his sound barrier up. Crew and Zapre about 50%, soon about 80%. His Deadeye can be actually really big here, but again, it's going to be really hard for him to have a clean ultimate when you have Ruster who can put a shield down, and you have Saini who can just reflect against him. So you can already see Misfits sitting really far back. Zapre is trying to force these fights and then these close quarter combat positions over towards the left with that health pack there. And he already has Icefeld coming into the side. He's able to get a clean dink onto him and force him away.
Skipjack goes aggressive. It's Winston on Winston action. Russell's going to go down early again. That's not ideal. That's twice he's gone down at the start of the fight. Going in a little too deep. A little too far, and will get picked off. Saini manages to find himself 1-2, swings away, just hops over the well there. Will not get himself the last kill there. Zave stole it from him. And a quick flip there from Luminosity. That worked out very well in their favor, despite Ruster going down very early.
Yeah, Luminosity actually, got credit to them to be able to perform like this. I honestly expected Misfits to take this in a 3-0 series. You know, I hate to keep saying it, but I think majority of people out there and just past results alone would have said the same thing. But also, they're fighting. And they have the Graviton Surge Pulse Bomb combo, which can be really dead for Misfits if they're not spread out.
Well, the Graviton Surge has pulled them all in. Pulse Bomb came through, but it got shielded out. That was brilliantly done, and that may well slow things down. Crew manages to get himself one. Saini gets taken down by Soon. That may well be all she wrote here. Icefeld tries to zip away from Soon. Got to get away from that deadly aim of his. He will get taken down in the end, and the point will be flipped once again to Misfits.
It's almost a tie-up here, actually. 46 to 36%. Relatively close. I think Misfits are just kind of holding on a little bit longer than Luminosity, though they have a lot of key ultimates up again. They have the Transcendence, they have the Sound Barrier, and they do have the Raging Monkey to knock people into the well if they get out of position. But you can see Soon, I mean, he's being very smart about where he wants to hold. He's actually sitting off to the side, making sure he doesn't get caught out. Even Crew being a little bit aggressive, they're just giving information, not to mention build up shield charge, and pops the Graviton Surge down the middle of the team.
Yeah, it was not ideal. It didn't catch too much. Simply a Primal Rage Winston staring at them. You can see he doesn't get a great deal from it. Ruster and Saney do. Crew did get himself one just before he died, though. But you can see Zabe now managing to finish off, and this is going to flip once again in favor of Luminosity. Back and forth we go like a rocker switch. And it's going to be 82% Misfits reached, and now Luminosity. They're going to have to hold it for 2 runs here, and all they've got to deal with this is a pulse bomb. That's less than ideal when you see what's up against them.
And they're going to have a combo, though, soon. If Manton, if the entire team can hold on, and Manton can build up his ultimate here, they could actually have a really clean wipe. The problem is Zebasai's going to have sound barrier, so they don't time it correctly, and you get the sound barrier off in the middle of the pulse bomb, so they cancel everything. But he uses it right away. This is actually not looking good for them. Manton just needs to get his ultimate up, but that's going to be Nevix taking an Icefell. That's not what you want to see happen for Luminosity.
And they flipped it, just simply taking one. They realized Luminosity, they had to back away from this one. They've got probably 1 fight in them at best, and now Soon's going to use his Deadeye to zone him. He may even pick up 2 kills from this one. Save, oh, so close. You saw the bullet hit the building there. Doesn't catch him out, manages to get the fan, the hammer, but Icefell gets the pulse bomb down, gets the quad kill, and that is exactly what they needed in overtime. They flip it back in their favor. Luminosity, hang on.
So even though Icefell dies at the beginning of that fight, he comes back from spawn just in time to pair with Manton to get a 4-man kill, turn the point back for themselves, and they need to hold it. If they can hold it this next time, that could be gained. The problem is they don't have a lot of ultimates ready. Zabe is going to have his Transcendence in the fight unless he gets bursted down. And Saney, yes, will have Dragon Blade. And Transcendence actually was used out of Nevix. I think he was being focused down by Saney, but this is looking good for Misfits to actually take the point.
Can they take him out? No, because Zabe just got wrecked by Crew there, just ran straight in his face. That's going to flip the point straight back on his head. A boop's not going to work, can't send him in the well. Instead, Mineral will go down there, and that will be the 2nd round going over to Misfits. There's not a great deal they can do. You can see Skipjack just off on the side there with the Winston just bashing Ruster back. So 2-0, Misfits. It's close, there's no doubt about it. Luminosity have got it in their bag to try and take a round here, but Misfits, they're holding all the cards right now.
It's not a clean victory for Misfits that we would have expected. I think if they really give credit to Luminosity to be able to skirmish like this. Thing is, they're also depending on this one combo, the Pulse Bomb Graviton Surge. Time and time again, whenever they actually get engaged on and they don't have this ultimate up, they lose the point. So you kind of see it's maybe a little bit of a one-trick pony for Luminosity, and Misfits, even knowing this and going up against it time and time again, have been able to maintain a 2-0 lead now on Ilios. Luminosity maybe needs to switch things up a little bit. Like, where's your Reaper? Where's your McCree? They're more than happy to keep running this Genji Tracer that we just saw Reunited and Melty do.
They're fine.
No, they're not going to play Ana.
But
would you play Ana with what's on the line right now?
Well, the thing is, okay, so I was thinking maybe Lucio would stick in there, but Mineral is going to switch over to that one. Zebasai getting very aggressive upon there. He's going to get taken down. That's going to be Ruster finally picking himself up a kill. He's been very aggressive, been the first man to die every fight so far, but finally got himself a kill for that one. Nevixo in reply takes down Saney as he gets soon down. So a lot of damage dealers being picked up from Misfits. And Luminosity may well be coming out for the first time on top in the initial fight.
And no one's even on the point at the moment. Finally someone is able to switch over, and Misfits are just being held back, but Crew, 96 energy already. He's going to be a huge force to deal with as he comes around from the side here. The thing is, does he have any backup is the real question. And the rest of his team is going to finally start to, switch over towards him, group up again and go for the push, but Ruster's a little bit overextended.
Again, Ruster, he just goes so deep on the Winston, and he seems to be leaving his team into a 5-6 situation. It's good if you can get around, and sure, you want to try and distract and focus on one of those supports, pick them off around the side, but it doesn't buy you much time when your team's down to a 5-6, and holy moly, Zapre just wrecking his way through there, soon picks himself up a hatful of kills, and that may well be the point flipping over to Misfits.
All right, so after about 32% for the first time on Ilios, Luminosity have been able to get the initial control, and they have 4 ultimates up. Like, this should be their fight. They have the Graviton Surge to worry about, but then again, they're gonna have Transcendence in time for this fight to actually prevent it from being too effective. But Soon's gonna have actually his Deadeye, which could be the big turning point, but they use the Graviton Surge themselves, only catching about 2 people. The counter Graviton Surge comes in out of Crew, and really no one dying just yet, but Crew's probably able to take down his counterpart, Manhattan.
Yeah, managing to pop him off there. You can see Saney, he misses his swing, doesn't manage to get the kill either. The shield working wonders, and unfortunately that's going to be a Dragon Blade wasted as well. There's Skipjack picking himself up the double. Saney tries to dash around, but he can't get anything from that, and a solid hold from Luminosity. Misfits there against 4 ultis of Luminosity.
Just the problem is that Misfits have a better composition in general when it comes to these extended skirmishes. Luminosity have a better comp when it comes to getting the fight that they want because they can get the pulse bomb off and kill off the entire team. But a more stable composition that Misfits is running is going to net you more wins in general over the course of all these fights because you need to wait, most importantly, for that Graviton Surge to come up, where Misfits don't necessarily need to do that.
Well, that's it. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, that they're reliant on that combo to work, and if the combo's not there, doesn't land correctly, then sadly, it's not going to go their way, but Icefeld does manage to get himself a couple of kills. They're going in brute force. This is more like it, not relying on the ultis, just relying on straight up damage. Icefeld saying he burst on through, and more importantly, Ruster didn't get taken down this time at the start of the fight. He hung on, and that was a straight team ace for North.
Thing is, that's one of the first times we've seen Luminosity take a fight without using ultimates, using that combo of the Graviton Surge, the Pulse Bomb. But now Icefeld is ready to go. He's actually trying to be really sneaky to catch him from behind. He's been able to take Zebasai down multiple times. Graviton Surge is being used aggressively out of crew. And he throws it into his team, but doesn't kill anyone. Skipjack takes down 2. And now Icefeld trying to look for someone to kill, but there's just so many people alive, he's not able to focus anyone down.
Saini and Ruster managed to get 2 for 2 there, so it's a straight exchange at the moment. I think Soon just got knocked off the map with the Primal Rage of Ruster. He did, and Zebasai. So Primal Rage working wonders this time around for Ruster, and they are going to hold the point. And finally, it is Luminosity in the lead here. 74% and counting. Misfits, they've got a lot of ultis stacked up, though. They're going to get themselves another 2 fights here.
So Misfits, how are they going to go about this attack? Problem is, Icefeld's been so sneaky. He's been really, really hard to kind of lock down. And that's typically going to be Soon's job when he comes in. Ruster trying to lead the charge in the front. They have the Sound Barrier, and not to mention the Deadeye coming through. He doesn't actually get anyone because the shield being dropped down. And there's a Transcendence used out of Nevix, but that's a big kill. With Soon taking on Saini, it's all on Icefeld to pick up this damage.
Icefeld's going to have to keep them really busy. He's got his Pulse Bomb available, but unfortunately, when there's that many players around, even the most skillful Tracer is not going to last too long. So, 99% is what they reached. That's the problem that Luminosity have right now because Misfits have it back in their control.
Soon you gotta be careful. Do not want to die early. You're gonna see Skipjack actually jump around the corner to actually give some cover. The Graviton Surge comes through. Pulse Bomb is gonna be there, but it doesn't pick up any kills. But Zave alone has been able to get one tied in with Mineral, and they're looking to push on the point. 92% build up for Misfits. Luminosity needing on the point, and they need to do it now.
Oh, they have to push. They have to go. The flashbang doesn't work out. Icefeld trying to dodge, duck, and weave. Soon down to 6 health. Gets dropped, and eventually he's gonna try the shield across there. Tries to boop him out the window, and they have recapped the point in overtime. Now he can see Skipjack having to launch himself in there. Can't get himself a kill. Luminosity are going to hang onto the point. They force them away. They just have to keep Zapre away. Forcing him around. You can see Zapre dishing around. He's got nowhere to zap himself in. Whew, they got it.
All right, so Luminosity will take one map here on Ilios. 2-1 between the two teams. 1-1 in general of the series. They've been able to keep themselves alive. A lot of these maps have been so close. Time and time again, Icefeld is playing out of his skin so far. Usually it's Saini is the man you're always going to look to for Luminosity to be the big damage dealer. But honestly, Icefeld has been stepping up when it really counts here for them. And Luminosity are still within reach of actually taking a lead over Misfits.
Can they do the reverse sweep?
Well, I mean, the problem is we're going to be on Ruins now. And I mean, Ruins is where they lost.
Yeah, but it was close. It was close on both these maps. Remember, it was Luminosity that hit 99% first on this map. So, and then they switched it overtime. This one was very close. Very close. But here we go. I'm going to look to Ruster. I want to see if Ruster's going to get taken out. He's gone too deep a couple of too many times. He actually started to hold back a little bit more. And it looks like it. Look at it. He's finally slowing himself down. He's not leaping into the opponent. There he comes. Just saw him jump in the pit.
It's not necessarily his fault, I want to say. I mean,
that's what Winston should be doing. But he needs to go in and get out.
It's not even that. It's also Manitin needs to be able to shield him in time. The thing is, Manitin's been using a shield for Saini and Icefeld, which leaves Ruster on his own. And that's just kind of a composition flaw when you're running these two heavy assassins out of Tracer and Genji. But here we go. Skipjack jumping straight through. Zebasai is able to take Ruster down, but Ruster did get Soon, so that's a favorable trade.
How did Mineral get in and out of that fight? I have no idea. It looked like he was dead to rights. Skipjack managing to push on through there. Zapre does get himself one. Icefeld zipping around, gets himself the kill on Zapre. Manitin trying to get focused. Skipjack doing some serious work here on the Winston. They're going to flip the point back in their favor, but the Pulse Bomb will take him down, and Icefeld at the same time.
So maybe he jumped into Icefeld and actually took the kill onto him, but they still have crew on point with 96 energy able to hold on. He's got the health. He's got Nevix with the Transcendence too. And this should ideally be them hold on to the point, at least for a little bit of time, because Luminosity just don't have the ultimates to counter this.
What a fight. What an engagement. You can see the ult is already charged up there. Transcendence was already used by Nevix just to get this point in the first place, just to get that single couple of percentage on the ball. We're only at 15% right now. It's a very unusual start to this fight. Graviton Surge is going to get popped in there. It's got 4 people in that Graviton Surge. Crew should be wrecking him here. Skipjack and Soon also coming in to just mop up, and Manhattan will get wiped out here. This is going to be a 40% charge for Misfits before Luminosity can get close.
Yeah, but Luminosity have 5 ults ready to go here. Just about whether or not they can use them at the right time to capture this point. You really should not see Misfits be able to hold back from this one unless, just looking at Zapre, who's going to have his Death Blossom up, and Soon can get in the right position if they're sneaky enough. And it looks like with the way Soon's setting up, he might be able to do just that, because look where the rest of his team is. They're on the other side of the point. He's going to be able to spot out Icefell, get the quick kill onto him. And now with the Tracer now down, yeah, it's not a person out of ultimate, but that was one of the 2 people they needed to do the damage.
Yeah, and Skipjack's managed to get in. Mineral goes down. Skipjack gets a second. The High Noon comes out. Is there going to be anything from the Deadeye? Yes, there is. Saini gets picked out in the air, and that is going to be all she wrote. So, 63% to 0 and counting. Luminosity still sitting there with those ultis. Ruster did have that Primal Rage, but it didn't do anything.
But there's a switch too. Icefell went over to Reaper from Tracer. I think he's a little bit tired of going up against Soon, able to flashbang him and one-shot him. The thing is, he was really close to his ultimate Tracer, and they committed the Graviton Surge plus the Primal Rage in the last fight, which gives them only Saini, basically, with the Dragon Blade up, who's going to need healing from Zabe and the health boost out of Mineral, but he has to pretty much do this entirely by himself.
Look at Saini trying to hunt down Nevix. Finally, he manages to take him out. Nevix was getting free damage from the back there, and this may well actually be the switch at last. 93% is a big score still to chase, though. Saini is going to start racking up the kills, does manage to get himself another on Zapre, and finally, Luminosity will flip the point, but you can see it was in overtime, 99% to 0. They finally get in their hole, but boy, God, they've got to hold it for a long time here. Zapre's got himself his Death Blossom available. Skipjack has Primal Rage. Crew is going to have Graviton Surge in just a few moments. So Luminosity are going to have to hold with nothing. With no ultis.
They don't really have a comp based around this. They don't have a comp based off these long extended fights. They're hoping on ultimates to actually win the fight. Saini could be charging through, and you can see everyone melting one by one. Saini picks up a triple, looking for the quad kill, but the Zarya going to be a little bit too tough for him to actually take down. Manton steals that away, and they're going to maintain. Now they have some ultimates to use, but Misfits have more.
That was a good combo. Saini, obviously, on the Genji you can see here, and Ruster on the Winston. It does work well. If they can focus the targets, well, I mean, if you call the Tesla cannon a focus of targets, it kind of hits everything in front of you. But if Saini focuses the targets correctly, it can work. And that's what they're relying on right now. Dragon Blade available. Going to try and get around the side there. There's Transcendence coming out. It was used very early. But Zapre gets a quad kill coming in with a Death Blossom. That was not in their books. They didn't plan on that. And this is going to be a 3-1. They're flipping it, and it's all over.
All right, so Luminosity, they tried so hard, but in the end, it didn't matter for them on Ilios, as they will eventually lose this map. But they haven't lost the series. They still have another chance here, as we'll be going on to the next map. Misfits, though, 2-1 in the lead. Looking to close out in a 3-1 fashion. Remember, they're probably the most favored team to actually win this entire thing and get through into the regional finals in the first day.
It's going to be the pulse bomb quad kill, isn't it, that won them, well, almost won them the map. I mean, actually, no, this one they did win. That was the well they won. Icefell getting himself just about the perfect setup, but this is what we talked about. That's what they relied on. The Graviton Surge with the Pulse Bomb, hoping that there's no Winston shield, that there's no Zarya shields, and finally it got through. But there were so many times that it went through, and Zarya shield just like, yeah, thanks. Just give me full charge.
The unfortunate thing is that, like, the way Zarya charges, not the way, the time it takes to charge a Zarya, you could basically get 2 Pulse Bombs oftentimes. So, I mean, we did see Icefell many times actually get 1v1s against Zebasai and Lucy. We patched the Pulse Bomb and ran away and killed him. But it came down to that whole combo. And when you put your whole game on one wombo combo, as we sure as hell know of casting League of Legends, if you don't hit the wombo combo correctly, then you're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
And maybe it's something that they kind of pulled out thinking that this is what we need to go with to beat them. Something a little cheesy, though it's not really cheesy.
You saw around Lighthouse, didn't you? I mean, they used the Graviton Surge, but he only got like 2 people in it. Pulse Bomb came in. Zarya wasn't in the Mixer just threw a shield down. The Winston shield came out. It didn't really do a great deal. And if the Graviton Surge, so much reliant on that, if Graviton Surge doesn't hit the primary target, then the combos.
It's not even. It's like hitting enough targets to make the pulse bomb
if you're not getting at least 3 people in there, and the pulse bomb goes in and still doesn't get it kills, you just can't.
But I mean, to be fair to Icefall, he still played a ridiculously good Tracer that whole time.
It's true, but I mean, obviously the alternative was they didn't have a Reaper. So if you look on the other side, the amount of times we saw Death Blossoms coming in, when it doesn't rely on anything like that, it was just simply.
I'd say it was more the McCree, actually.
Well, Soon on McCree is all
was
very
a
good.
constant annoyance to Icefall. Is like flashbang, one shot, you're dead.
Yeah.
And he completely takes away that part of the equation. The one of the 2 things you're going to need to make your comp work, or at least your big wombo combos. So it was a little bit fortunate.
Let's talk about Dorado. It's coming up next.
I want to see maybe them actually transition to a McCree. Maybe that was just the combo they wanted to run. Remember, we didn't get to see the first 2 maps, so we don't know if they kind of ran that same comp, which I'm assuming they didn't. I was hoping to see a little bit more McCree there. But like you said, Dorado our next map between these 2 teams. And Misfits, I can't see a reason that they don't pick up this map.
Well, see, Reunited did pick it up against Melty, but they couldn't complete the map. So, this is one of probably the harder maps to finish, because there is quite a lot of choke points. However, as we discussed with Mitch in the Anox Overwatch Kings game, if you kind of fluff up your defensive hold on that on the high church area in the second point, if that doesn't go wrong, generally they're through. They're through that point, and that's where you can either hold it for 4 minutes or they're through it in a minute. It's really a hit and miss.
It comes into the offense playing like a little bit cheesy, a little bit different in terms of like, all right, we get the payload under the bridge, right, towards the M, and then we actually take the high ground of the opposing side and fight from there, depending on where the defense is holding. So it forces the offense to change things up if their initial attack doesn't work. But the final point, I mean, how many games have we seen now where a team holds on for 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time and actually not let the payload finish? Like, it doesn't get any easier from that first point, which is already tough enough.
Well, let's also talk about what Mitch mentioned on Dorado as we're just waiting for the map to load up here. The first point. As he said often this is one of the hardest first points to get through. It's because there's so many ways. I mean, we saw the unmatched aggression of Anox. They just straight through like a fist through the archway. They didn't even bother getting the payload around there. Often we'll see teams obviously flank off to the left. I'm talking about the archway. You guys know where it is, the big archway there. And there's the route at the top. Often we'll see teams flank around. We also saw a couple of teams fake it and then just pretend they're flanking around, everybody sets up to the right, and then they come back on the left, and everybody has to reposition in defense.
There's still one untapped point of the map that teams stopped using, was actually coming around from the high ground. Genji coming from there. The problem is you need a lot of coordination, and if they notice the Genji's back there, it's like, all right, charge the front, kill him, or turn around and kill Genji
McCree just turns
with a
around and deals with
flashbang.
him. Yeah.
And then you lose up crucial points to your whole attack. So it's really risky, but teams should obviously use it if they're really struggling for that first point.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the game is about ready to go, so let's get the map on your screen. It's looking very mean and moody as we stare at the moon. It's not Moon, ladies and gentlemen. It is the real moon. It is Dorado's moon.
It's his brother Moon.
With the beach. It's his brother Moon. It's the single moon. Moon was the follow-on. Anyway, that out of the way. Let's talk about what they're going to do. Let's have a look at Misfits. So we're going to see a Reinhardt coming out from Roster this time around. Obviously was playing Winston on the King of the Hill maps there. Zave going to be on the Zenyatta again. Mineral will be on the Lucio. Saini is on Reaper. And Ripper, Icefelt, he is on McCree. There we go. So we were talking about Tracer. Icefelt will be on McCree. And of course, Manaton is on the Zaya. We'll see where the attacking team sticks with this. I'm interested to see if Zapre is going to stay on Genji.
Yeah, just to inform you guys, the actual top is wrong. It's Luminosity on defense and Misfits on attack, but that'll be switching in a second, so don't worry too much about that. But yeah, like you pointed out, Saini gonna be playing the Reaper, and McCree gonna be played by Icefelt. Switch things up to be more of a standard kind of play, especially at this point when you're gonna need a Reaper, and you're sure as hell gonna need this McCree, but Zapre on the Genji could be the big problem.
Yeah, let's see whether it works out for them. Misfits is going to get a peek around there. Luminosity does manage to get himself a peek. Okay, let's see what they do. Are they just going to brute force the way through? Zapre tried, but he went headlong into Saini's shotgun and just took his face clean off there. Soon's going to have to back away from this one. They realize they've lost Genji. That was a big key part of it. He needed to dash around the back. He wanted to get that flank, so this is the other option we didn't talk about. They brute force in, and then they push, and then the attacking players, like the speedy ones like a Genji, flank around the back, but as you saw there, Saini was ready and waiting for him.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to do that against a Reaper who's going to be up in your face, especially in that close proximity, that close quarter combat. He's obviously going to excel soon, though. Still trying to play around the high ground. They're getting sped up and actually getting to the point he immediately ignores everyone in the front, looks for people in the back, catches Saini somehow just with a stray shot, and that eliminates the big Reaper, who's a problem.
Well, okay, 5v6. Big chance for them as a push on the fountain there. The Earth Shatters, no, the Graviton Surge pulls them on. It pulled them on the fountain, though. There's no follow-up, and then the Transcendence will work in their favor. Zave gets himself 1 kill, but that's about all. Manaton will go down, and Nevix manages to finish off his opposite number. That will be the first point reached in 1 minute 30. Very quick.
Yeah, really fast time here, sorry. Zapper is going to have his Dragon Blade up in a second, or has it up now, which actually is going to make him really hard to deal with if he's on that high ground. And we need to see Luminosity on the defense side, use that Reinhardt to good effect, to get on that high ground, to get some sort of position to actually drop an attack from. Saini, though, is he going to stick with the Reaper? He's been picked off because of that really aggressive push out of Misfits just there. So he's going to have to be a little bit careful in getting back. He's going to be a little bit slow, but luckily for him, the payload does move even slower.
We'll just wait, just to remind you guys, it is actually Misfits on the attack. There we go. It has been updated on the top there, you can see. 2 minutes, 9 seconds as they reach this church section. Luminosity getting ready to drop down. Here they go, Graviton Surge, perfectly placed for it. But that Deadeye is going to get nothing soon, a long way away from the fight there. And nothing comes out. Icefeld himself gets his Deadeye in return. Saini comes through with the Death Blossom, just gets a single return for that one. And Icefeld gets a second as Crew goes down. And the defensive side of Luminosity finally clear up the Misfits.
That could have been perfect for Misfits, actually. Su was in a great position in the back to use his Deadeye with the Graviton Surge. The problem was the shield stayed up. The shield didn't get spammed down in time, and that means he didn't pick up any kills during that and actually got picked off eventually. So a little bit of a misplay for Misfits, though the payload is actually still moving. As Luminosity take a little bit of extra time to get up towards the high ground. And Zapper at Dragon Blade, like if he goes for the flank right now and people sitting up high ground, they can be just dead. What are you doing, Zave?
Zave's dead. He's dead, Zave. He's all dead. Skipjack comes around, and I don't think they were quite ready for the speed that Misfits managed to return to the payload there. They took the time to get back up, and suddenly they were like, oh, where's the payload? Oh, crap, it's below us. Everybody dropped down, and Zave sadly didn't get the memo or didn't hear. I don't know what it was, but...
I mean, ideally, you want to stay like that if you're Zenyatta. I just don't think he saw Zapper coming in.
No. And
then that was just like, all right, well, you're dead, and you're going to lose this fight.
Okay, so Misfits, they've backed away. They didn't lose anyone. They just say, okay, guys, let's regroup. Let's get this fight off, and soon should be able to pick something off here. Does get himself forward. Gets actually almost knocked into position by Manaton, and he does take Manaton down there. So Primal Rage or not, that Deadeye will peek you off if you give it time. And he gets to get himself a double kill quickly on Ruster and Saini. You hear the headshots come through, and that payload marker is hit within 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
That aim transfer out of Soon was phenomenal there to completely shut down Luminosity. Double headshots, and now LG, they need to come up with something a little bit different here. They do have 2 huge offensive ultimates, 3 huge now, with Ruster having his Earth Shatter up. Problem comes down to, will they have the opportunity to use it? Because Crew, he's going to have the Graviton Surge up, and they're going to challenge out the high ground. This is really dangerous, because Crew's leading the charge.
Going to try and jump around there, but according to the Graviton Surge, Saini gets his Death Blossom off. Zapre trying to block out against that Deadeye, but it's not going to work out for him. Manaton gets in his face, and the defense will hold for a moment. Crew finally taken down, and Luminosity will hang on again. Misfits, 4 minutes 30 and counted, so still a pretty good, decent time to where they at. You'd expect them to finish off the map here. You just got to wait. Luminosity, they've got just the Earth Shatter. That's the only ulti available in this next defense, but that's more than Misfits have.
They should have a Sound Barrier too in a second, then so should Misfits on Zeba's side. It's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough for Misfits to actually take this fight if they're not in the right position, because they've actually given up the high ground completely. They're not challenging out on this one, and you can see how quickly this shield goes down. It's already down to 1,000 HP being spammed away at by Saini. But the payload is continuing to move, and they're actually letting this one go. They're not going to contest it at all.
Well, Earthshatter's still not come down. They're still waiting for the ideal opportunity. Icefeld manages to find himself one. There's the Earthshatter coming down eventually. Manaton will get himself a collection kills there, but Zapre, he's still doing work around the back, and Skipjack is still standing. He's protecting all the damage dealers, and they haven't dealt with this. Icefeld's the man that needs to find the kills here. If you can see him skipping it away, and Skipjack catches him with a fire strike.
And he's just trying to keep them off the payload while waiting for his team to come back in, but that's going to be him going down. Crew picks up the kill, paired with Zapre. Now they have so many ultimates to hold them back. This should be ideally the end here. Using the Wraith form just to get on the payload alone, and both Reinhardt charging into each other. The Earth Shatter should be coming in momentarily out of Skipjack, and soon as Deadeye available, picks up 3 kills, and that should do it. Luminosity will not hold, and Misfits will finish in about 5 minutes and 49 seconds of time.
A sneaky Deadeye underneath the payload. Perfect angle to hold there. 5:49 the time for Misfits. It's not a brilliant time, but it's a time nonetheless, and it's something more than we've seen a lot of teams posting lately. Obviously, looking towards the Overwatch Kings game, they didn't manage to finish it off. Anox did. You look towards the Reunited game, neither of them would manage to finish off this map.
Yeah.
So, as it is, just simply posting a time seems pretty good in this tournament so far.
And what are Luminosity to attack with, but most importantly, what are Misfits going to defend with in this position? I think it's pretty much just going to be standard. Like, there's no reason to play anything extra cheeky when you already have a decent time. Like, 5:49 is not terrible at all, like you said. And Misfits are pretty confident in their general style of play anyways. So they're going to pretty much go with the standard cookie-cutter build. They got the Zenyatta, they got the Lucio, they have the McCree, the Reaper, the Zarya, the Reinhardt, and Luminosity switching things up a little bit, going with how Misfits attacked, with Saini going to be on the Genji, and Icefelt going to be playing the Reaper. Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the fights overall, they got held up once on the initial payload point. The second point, they got held up twice around the church section, and then obviously just towards the end of it.
You know what's amazing?
And then they got held up twice in the power station. That's it. So there's only really 5 fights they can afford to lose.
You know what's amazing is that, where's all the divas?
I know.
EU
North
just
America
does not
uses
play
it
Diva
non-stop.
at all.
Yeah.
And NA does. It's just, I think maybe
they're still using Winston
adaptation
constantly.
And style. Like, yeah, Diva's a pretty damn good Winston, to be honest. The defense matrix is just ridiculous if you can use it correctly. The hit it, attack, hit it, attack, hit it, attack, and you mitigate a lot of damage. But I don't know, maybe we'll see that in time. Maybe that's going to be the big thing when it comes to gamescom, the tournament. Seeing NA bring out the Diva and EU not know how to really deal with it. But here we go.
I'm intrigued to see how it's going to be on, obviously, Wednesday or Thursday when that's all going to happen. That's when North American Regionals happen. Make sure to keep yourself tuned for that. Whoa, that nearly caught him out there. You can see Zave trying to pump the damage through that corner. If he can manage to land that right click, well, good night, whoever manages to get hit there. Icefelt just hanging, dodging and weaving. Let's see what they're going to do. Are they going to go straight aggression? Are they going to try and go for the flank? You can see they're all going to get behind it. I'm suggesting this might be a flank, but Manaton's found soon. That's a good kill coming out of Zarya. Managing to take down the big damage dealer, and they're just going to push straight behind the payload.
That was long range, too. That was with the right clicks, and that should just not happen if you're soon. He's going to need to get back to his team as quick as he can. The problem is, I don't know if he's going to have the time. Luminosity's already at the point.
Yeah, they're backed away. They realize this isn't going to work. They're going to try and fight them on the last points here, and it may well work out because Icefelt gets picked off early, but Ruster takes down Zapre. Manaton picking off Crew as well. You can see Soon around the back. He's trying to lay down the damage, but Manaton gets him again. And well, inside of a minute, Luminosity managed to reach the first point. That is faster than Misfits did it. They took them a good 2 attacks to get through there. And that was a big error from Soon to get caught.
That's why it's so important to not die on the initial attack of your defense. You just need to stay alive no matter how you do it. And if you lose a man, 6v5, it's just a fight. Like, you're not going to win. Even if, you know, you're not evenly matched in terms of teams, it's still really hard to kind of bring that one back. But you can see Saini's still sticking on the high ground, getting some chip damage here and there, and he's got his ultimate up too. This could be the dislodging factor for him. He gets flashbang up around the corner though. Manages to stay alive.
And manages to get the deflect off just in time. They're looking to hold the point, but it's bought him enough time to get that Dragon Blade available. He's going to try and dodge around, uses his shurikens as best he can, but you can see Soon picked himself up a double. It's a pretty even fight so far as Manaton and Mineral chime in with kills of their own. The block comes through, and that's going to be Nevix and Soon taken down. And Saini does it all himself, says thank you very much, Manaton, for the shields. We're going to keep on pushing.
Genji out of Saini has been the real saving factor for them. So fantastically well played by him, and they can keep this momentum up. They sure as hell can finish this one quicker than Misfits, and they got their whole team there. But Misfits are coming in. They've got so many ultimates ready to go. Luminosity only have the Dragon Blade and the Sound Barrier in a second out of Mineral. And with Graviton Surge out of Crew, this could be the big turning point.
They have to time this perfectly. The Graviton Surge doesn't really catch a great deal. It pushes them around the corner. Now they're back away from it. Nobody really going down from that one. Icefelt does in the end, but Saini's gone down. That's 2 of the damage dealers. Really, that is it for Luminosity. They shouldn't be winning this fight unless Manaton pulls off something spectacular.
Oh, they still have Zapre with Dragon Blade up. He just hasn't used it just yet. Zibasai, Nevix both pick up a kill. Zave and Rush to falling. And actually, Misfits, they've held on the defense here. 2 minutes and 40 seconds in. They have about 3 minutes left of time to finish off the entire map, let alone capture this next point. But they have the ultimates decently enough ready to go. The problem is they've lost the high ground control. And I'm curious how they're going to go about actually taking it back. And then it looks like they're going to go on towards the church themselves. Because the payload's far enough ahead that you can play from this position.
It's that tricky position because it's just under the bridge. So you either try and shove it under the bridge and try and fight them as they drop on your head, or you try and go for the flank, and they're kind of half-hearted. Look, you can see that almost see the internal struggle between the teams. It's like, we should push around the right. No, let's push through the church. And clearly, we can see it even happening right here on your screens. Icefeld's going to come around the side. Saini manages to get himself the flank. Everybody ducks down behind the shield, and that High Noon does nothing. Now we can see Icefeld. He's going to have to start landing the left clicks here. If that Deadeye's not going to work, he needs to get something from it. Saini's trying to set himself up some kills, but the payload is moving. There's not a great deal happening. And Zapre, he's trying to flank around the back of them.
Surge being used, though. Transcendence being used to counter throw the Dragon Blade out of Zapre is being popped out as well as he's looking for some kills. Crew is able to get Icefeld down, but Saini paired with the Earthshatter is looking to pick up a kill. He just hasn't gotten a single one yet, and Crew picks himself up a double. Saini's just not able to kill anyone in that entire fight.
That was
and
painful.
Crew almost alone turns the tides of that.
Painful to watch. You could see him. He's like, my Dragon Blade, it's so close. He's throwing the shurikens in the head of Crew, and it's just not happening. That may well have just been enough to delay them. We're at 4 minutes. They have to go through fairly unhindered. So despite their fact they got through that first payload marker in 1 minute, the fact that they've been held here has really hurt them badly. Remember, it is 2-1 already to Misfits. This could be Misfits taking game here. This is the last attack I think Luminosity are going to have.
Let's see. Deadeeye come out as soon, looking in a good position. There's no shield to actually protect them. Finally, Ruster's going to get it up in time, and soon he's not going to get a single kill off that, but Icefeld able to get Skipjack down. He has Deadeeye. He's going to pop it from the side here, but he has no one to really shoot onto. The payload is continuing to move. What? Nevix! How did he not die there? He pulled the trigger too soon, Icefeld, and he gets taken down in the back.
Well, Zave takes him down. I said that was the last chance they have. They have a minute. That is it. They cannot be held up at all here. Just need to push it around the corner. It takes about that 30 seconds max to get around this corner, so they really can't afford to get snarled up in one prolonged fight, which is what's happening right now. Look at their ultis, though. They don't really have a great deal. Nevix has Transcendence. Zapre has himself his Dragon Blade as well. Saini can't afford to get picked off here. He's trying to deflect what he can into Nevix, but it's not working out. And this payload, they're about to fight. And Jason, they've got 30 seconds left.
And they don't have time at all here, and they don't have really any ultimates to use. Zapre, as long as he just delays, as well as Nevix uses Transcendence sitting on the payload, so there's no way they can possibly move it. It's pretty much going to solidify this victory here for Misfits. Groudon starts to be used out of Luminosity, but there's no one really alive to capitalize off it. And the Dragon Blade comes out of Saini and the Earthshatter, but soon gets him from the side, and that should do it. 19 seconds left to go, but they've lost too many people, and Misfits, they will win this series 3-1, and now, more importantly, Demon, 1 game away from qualifying through into the event.
Absolutely, and the next game's going to be an absolute doozy for them. So Dorado, it will go across. You can see the timer. It has passed on by. GG to both teams here. So Misfits will take it 3-1 in the end. Credit to Luminosity, formerly known as Too Strong. They picked up by the Luminosity organization this morning or today. And yes, that does mean, ladies and gentlemen, that the North American version no longer exists as far as I know, does it?
No, they're known as Mix-Up at the moment.
Mix-Up.
But
so that's Siegel & Co. that you guys in chat will know them as.
I think, well, that's also the previous name before they became Luminosity. I think that's going to be probably NRG, though. I mean, seeing Shaq tweet.
Well, Shaq did tweet him.
So maybe we'll see NRG enter the ring.
When Shaq comes a call and you go like, all right.
You go, Kazam! I like that movie, actually. It was I thought it was a great movie.
Well, Thorin disagreed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's American humor, so I can understand why you wouldn't
Absolutely.
like it.
Well, let's just briefly talk. Obviously, that's going to be Luminosity now falling down into the lower bracket. And, of course, Misfits, they're going to go through and play Rogue, I believe, in the top bracket. So, real cracker there. Creation are obviously playing against SG1 at the moment. That's ongoing. Reunited are sat waiting for their opponent, which is going to be the winner of that. So, we're going to start things off, I guess, with the top bracket, which will be now Misfits up against Rogue.
And then with that one, we'll be through to the main event. The first team qualified through. 2 will come through today, 2 will come through tomorrow, and we'll have our 4 teams to represent Europe. And then, of course, Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be having our matches for North America. So we're going to see what teams come through there. I think we can ideally guess the top 2. Envious
so.
Most likely getting through. Cloud9.
Cloud9, yeah, I think they're almost nailed on. I don't know. You never know. You never know how brackets go. Sometimes strange things happen.
Maybe
in
their gaming house will lose power and they'll have to run to somewhere else.
Run to a quick. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think Astro will let that happen. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, it is going to be the first big match of the night. They've all been big, I know, but this is for all the marbles. The winner of this next match between Misfits and Rogue will qualify for Gamescom, the $100,000 tournament that's going to be happening on the 20th and 21st of August at Gamescom. Join us after the break.